Okay, Jason, we're live. Um, can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, hi everybody. I'm Jason Kishineff. I'm running for Congress in the 5th District of California.
Excellent. And then you're with the Green Party. So what in general makes you a Green Party candidate, and why did you choose the Green Party?
I went green last year when Bernie Sanders endorsed Hillary Clinton and decided not to fight at the convention in Philadelphia. I just had enough.
Yeah, yeah. I was a Bernie Sanders fan for many years, and I was surprised he decided to run. I knew it would kind of change him. I knew he'd have to compromise. But what brought you to Bernie Sanders?
Um, a friend of mine actually contacted me in February of 2016
Yeah,
and just said, "Hey, you got to check this guy out." And I was kind of had my mind blown, like, "Wow, finally!" Right?
right. A
I,
politician that sticks up for the people. What an idea.
right. But I was really disappointed in the whole convention because I really thought he was gonna go there and try to fight more, but he
Right.
kind of gave up. Oh.
Yes, yes, he did. So, we're going to cover a few topics that you advocate for. One of the main things I think that you are against is money in politics. So, there was a Citizens United decision, and then there's also the Clean Money Act, AB 249, I believe it is in California. Can you talk about your belief in having clean candidates and money taken out of politics?
I believe that as long as money is allowed to influence our elections, the people will never have their voices heard. I think most people by now are familiar with Citizens United, thanks to Bernie Sanders. Um, I think I've the most disgusting example of the effect that we've seen is the George Clooney fundraiser for Hillary Clinton last year, $353,000 a plate. I mean, how many of the common people can afford that? We've seen every time we've tried to legalize marijuana, we've seen tons of money poured in from the pharmaceutical industry and from the alcohol industry to stop it. Every time we've tried to reform healthcare, the insurance companies dump a bunch of money into the election to stop it. Here locally, we last year we had Bill Dodd and Cecilia Aguiar Curry running for local races. And yet, these international corporations like Monsanto and Chevron and Philip Morris dumped a bunch of money into their candidacy, got them elected. I think everybody in this area got like 12, 13 flyers for each of those candidates. And for state senate, really? So it's pretty hard to understand, but they affect policy on the local level so that they can affect policy on the national level, and it's just got to stop. We need nationally funded elections, publicly funded elections.
Yes, absolutely. And um, that's one thing I think that the Green Party is their litmus test is that we do not take corporate money.
Yes.
It's one thing that helps. I think all of us in the Green Party that we could just down the line say if we vote Green, we're not voting for corporate money. Um, and then how about the California Act, the AB 249, the Clean Money Act? Do you think you think we're going to get that passed, or you think we should work on it on a national level?
I'm not actually familiar with that, but if it's about clean money, then it absolutely should be passed.
Yeah. How deep do you think money influences our politics? We know it happens on a national level, but does it happen on a local level and on a state level?
It happens even below that, so that the money influencing politics, the like even the local city council members are connected to the parties, and the connections are very shady. You can't really see them, um, but it influences even through the media. They've convinced the people, the millions of people that live here, that, you know, third parties don't have a chance, and you know, it's wasting your vote to vote third party, and you have to vote blue even if you don't like that person. That is the effect of corporate money right there.
Absolutely, I agree. Another issue that's important to you is police reform. Specifically, you want to
Absolutely.
demilitarize the police. Um,
And not just demilitarize them. I think we need to just reform the whole way that our police system, the way the police. They need to not be focused on victimless crimes like the drug war that has failed. They need to be investigating, you know, murders and burglaries, and clearing out those backlog rape kits that they're, you know, they don't get to.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I think we have seen some people previously convicted found innocent as they get those rape kits or DNA testing done, and it leads them to the actual perpetrators of those crimes.
Yes.
Um, yes, absolutely. And then you also talk about de-escalation training that the police should get.
De-escalation training, um, cultural sensitivity training, anything to stop the police violence that we've been seeing for the last year. I think it's disgusting to see black people dying in the back of an ambulance or in a jail cell after a traffic stop, and to find that these police officers are not going to court or being found innocent pretty much automatically because they're police officers. And then a couple years later, they get their jobs back if they even have that, even if they even lose their jobs. It's disgusting. There's just total impunity.
Right. So do you think that they disproportionately target minorities or disenfranchised people?
I think it's well known that they do. I think if you're black, you're more likely to get pulled over in the first place. You're more likely to face a harsher sentence. You're more likely to face physical abuse. You're more likely to everything right on down the line.
So what do you think about this recent video that came out where a police officer, there was a video of a police officer shooting Daniel Shaver outside of outside his La Quinta motel room?
It's horrifying. And it's horrifying, you know, all these people that shoot down the Black Lives Matter movement, you know, with their All Lives Matter. Where are they? You know, I think it's really telling that the Black Lives Matter movement is standing up about this, but nobody else is.
Yeah, absolutely, because Daniel Shaver is white and he was killed by a white police officer. It shows that the police brutality issue is not just a minority issue; it's a police brutality issue that affects us all, and we should all stick up for justice.
It is. And
Yeah.
part of that is, you know, rogue police officers. You know, there is a small percentage that, you know, they're angry or they have problems or whatever. But there's also an issue in their training where they're taught that they are the authority, and if you defy their authority, they're going to subdue you,
Right.
whatever it takes.
Right. And then how you also talk about corporate prisons. What's your opinion on corporate jails and prisons?
Corporate prisons are totally horrifying. They're exploitation. They are uh, uh, they've been compared to slavery. I'll stop short of that because, you know, there is some compensation, and, you know, I can see why if you were in jail, you would take an opportunity to get out of jail, but they don't pay them enough, and so it's just totally exploitation. Um, Also, immigration prisons are absolutely horrifying. The conditions that those people are in, and they get held in there for up to 6 months, and they don't even get, you know, 3 meals a day. It's disgusting.
Yes, absolutely. So, do you agree with California being a sanctuary state?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I
I'm
saw
sad
that you're.
that we have a need for a sanctuary state. We
Yeah.
shouldn't have to take that step.
Right. So you're for comprehensive immigration reform then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that all immigrants who are living here should be granted citizenship immediately.
And I saw that on your website, it's bilingual. It has both English and Spanish. Are you a Spanish
Yes.
speaking person?
I'm not. I'm not.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I, I've
So
taken a
let
little.
me see.
I've taken a little Spanish, but I use Google Translator. I have to admit.
Oh, but yeah, but I think
Yeah,
that's good. You know, you're trying to reach
yeah,
out to
I
a very
am.
important segment of our community.
I am.
Yes, that's great. Um, let's
Thank
talk
you.
about the environment. You believe that the EPA needs to start mercury cleanup. That's an
I,
interesting concept. I haven't heard that from many people, but I do agree with that.
well, I mean, I would talk to people throughout the district, and I found out, and I had heard that Clear Lake was contaminated, but I found out how contaminated Clear Lake was, how long it had been contaminated, and the steps that they take. They don't really have the funds to clean it up. All they have is the funds to monitor it and to make sure that there's not runoff from a nearby mine. It's not enough. They're wasting money. Get it done. And I think
Right.
that we have contaminated lakes probably all over this country.
And the ocean. And, you know, I think we
Absolutely.
all know that, you know, you can only eat so much fish because of that contamination. And fish is one of the foods that's very healthy for us. So that's very unfortunate.
Right. In Clear Lake, you're supposed to limit yourself to one fish a week out there.
Wow.
That I mean, it's pretty bad.
That means it's a high level of contamination then.
It is a high level of contamination.
Yeah. Um, and then what about uh, Monsanto's weed killer that you're speak against?
We have in the Napa Valley, we have weed killer spraying all over. We've got vineyards all over the Napa Valley and the Sonoma Valley, um, and we've had high levels of cancer. We've got, it's not acceptable. The people are not being represented. Only the rich winery owners are.
Right. And I'd read something that the European Union approved levels for this weed killer that were a fifth actually a sixth of what we approve in America. We approve the weed killer levels in our bodies 6 times more than Europe does. But I think it's no coincidence that, you know, Monsanto's an American company, and you know, it goes back to the money in politics, that they're able to influence our politicians to keep their products available, and prevents the EPA from even testing it.
I don't think it makes any difference whether they're American. If they got the money, our government doesn't care,
Right.
about what the people think.
You're right. You're
It's
right.
all about the money.
And so let's finish up with universal health care. Can you tell us your opinions on universal health care?
Absolutely. I believe in universal health care. I believe that health care is a right, and it's very important that it includes all kind of health care, including dentistry, optometry, mental health care. It's a human right, and we should not be denied.
Right. So you support California's SB 562 then?
Absolutely.
And so the big question is going to come, how do we pay for it? What's your opinion on that?
All Congress has to do is pass the bill,
Yeah.
and we'll pay for it.
Yeah,
Put the money and pay for it.
I think if we see a cut in military spending, it could pay for some of these programs to help us get what the rest of the Western world has, right?
Right. Right. Under the current system, the way they're doing it, yeah. I'm learning a lot about this modern monetary theory, and Really, the taxes don't go towards spending. They just get deleted, and all they really have to do is pass the bill and print the money, and the rest is just excuses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Excellent. Okay, Jason. I thank you for doing this interview. Can you go ahead and give us your website, so that if people want to donate to your candidacy or volunteer?
Thank you for asking. My website is www.kishineff.org. That's KISHINEFF.org.
Excellent. And then, so I think you're going to start your signature campaign pretty soon. So
I
you need
sure,
volunteers to help you collect signatures in your district.
I sure do. I was just about to make a post about that on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So go ahead and for anybody who wants to help Jason out, can with money and volunteering, can you go ahead and give us that website one more time?
www.kishineff.org. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, Jason. Thanks again for doing the interview, and I wish you luck in your candidacy, and thank you for running on a progressive platform.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Excellent. Okay.
Bye.